Hi, my name is Michael Hester, and I invite you to take a journey with me to define what success looks like and how to achieve it with the 5 elements of success. We will talk with entrepreneurs, professionals, and people with passion to learn and find success together. On the way over here on the corner of Jefferson and Larkin, I saw 4 white people outside with Black Lives Matter banners and posters, and as I was looking, cars going by just honking horns and saluting them, and most of these cars was white people honking their horns that I've seen.
Okay.
And this is a few days after some of the major protests, so it seems like we have more allies in this thing we got going on now, which is a protective shield that would kind of help us in the fight, which is what we always needed. And I guess from me, I'm still young compared to the 60s and the times where, you know, there were a time where our society was really in the forefront of racism and oppression. So I mean, I'm sure there was allies there, but you know, you don't, from my own perspective, I don't see the allies we have now.
I think this is a time that no one can stay quiet. This is a time that individuals have been comfortable for so long with what they have been calling normal. That was all time not only dysfunctional but abnormal for us. And when I say us, as a black man. And so it's great to hear that allies are out there. What saddens me is that it had to take the fact that they saw this injustice, they saw this crime, they saw this hurt, they saw this pain, and it had to be filmed, it had to be recorded, because we've been saying this forever, that this has been happening. You know, when you're racially profiled, when you're walking in a store, when is stop and frisk, when you have police officers stopping you when you're in a community, asking you why are you there, right? This mindset that you could just mistreat, criminalize, ostracize, demonize a black man, which now gives you the right to perpetrate any kind of hurt or harm on him, needs to be done away with. And it's time for everyone to become allies, to say we're not going to accept that. That is not the normal. I'm dangerously concerned as we start talking about getting back to normal. What does that mean for us? What does that mean for the black man getting back to normal?
It's crazy that this year has been the way it's been, because there's been so much issues that we had to face as a society. First it was, you know, Corona, you know, and then now is this, and everyone as a whole in the world basically is responding. Everyone
right.
responded to COVID. Everyone in the world now responding to George Floyd, and there's all of this police brutality, and it amazes me that even after that we still see videos of police now with these protesters, how violent they still are.
And I think that's what really is coming out, is that it's being revealed that we weren't just making this up, that we weren't just complaining, that we weren't just being oversensitive, that we were doing something that should have happened to us in the first place. No, we're seeing police go against peaceful protesters. We're seeing police choke out peaceful protesters. Wait a minute, I have the right to protest, right? But then it shows us also their playbook, that they immediately try to say, well, that was a looter, okay? That was a terrorist. This is the verbiage that they use to now try to justify their act. But what made him a terrorist? The color of his skin? What made him a terrorist? That he was saying something that you didn't like or you didn't agree with? That does not give you the right nor the authority to put hurt and harm on that person. And that's what we've been seeing. And this has been like, this has reached a point whereas it's not just black men. I just saw yesterday an elderly white man. They push him down and he's bleeding from his ear and they walk past him. How do you do that? So what's now coming out is the police that are paid by tax-paying citizens to protect all citizens, whether they're taxpayers or not. They're being trained to terrorize the community. This is what you're showing us? Because this is what we're seeing, where we have individuals that's gunning down unarmed men and saying, I was afraid. That's how I was trained to shoot. I was trained to shoot point blank mass. All right. But then we also see that along with this training, we have individuals that they could go and they could detain, capture, apprehend, and there's no bodily harm to them.
Dude, get on the ground. He's chasing the taser didn't phase him. He's gonna shoot him. He's gonna shoot. Oh shit! He's trying not to use his gun. Shoot his tires out. Shoot his tire out. He gonna kill himself. Oh, here come the helicopters. Yeah, that's a helicopter. Here they come. Shoot his tires out, dude. Don't let him drive away. Oh, he gonna kill himself.
To stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from black liberals and black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person, and as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted on drugs.
If we do support, people that are maybe not necessarily in the society or make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes, and her whole thing was, even if we support people who make mistakes, but we as a people have endured multiple mistakes that the U.S. have done to us, so of course we're going to come together with people. That's because we all know to come together. So no matter what, even in my family, if my little brother makes a mistake, I'm going to ride with him, because that's my family.
You just brought up something, and we act like this doesn't exist. America still has not apologized for slavery. So when she makes statements like that, she needs to understand what she's really saying. America has not apologized for slavery. And here's the mindset. Don't think that they have to. You know what they'll say? That wasn't me. That was my ancestors.
Rush Limbaugh was on the Breakfast Club. He had a interview with Charlemagne, and he was saying that he don't believe in white privilege, and that's just something like, people make the bad things happen, and that's the thing where these recent times with all of these murders and with all the technology and the social media that we have, we're able to see point blank how many.
Why is it that I have to prove that this happened to me? But the only thing you have to do is say it. The only thing that the white person has to do is say it, and it's automatically believable. How many times, so for instance, how come a white girl can holler rape, individual can go to jail, stand in jail fighting the case, and then she come out 4, 6, 8 years later and say it didn't happen? But then they defended her. See, let's not forget that man was demonized. Okay? Let's not forget that this is how they pass sentences. Okay? How could you have raped her? Really? Only to find out later on that didn't happen.
This is a critical moment in our history where that mentality of white privilege and the issues that America hasn't really faced is starting to face it now.
They have to face it now.
They're having to. It's so many.
That's where the energy is coming from.
It's starting to tip.
The energy is saying, hey, y'all can't keep ignoring this and acting like it's not. Now, it's a segment of individuals that want to do that. That want to say things like this individual have said, right? That want to try to some type of way justify wrong. Justifier of a wrong is a denial of the truth. And that's the bottom line to it. You can't continue to play, and we don't have to stand for that, right? And they should, so the society should be happy, should be grateful that it hasn't went to extremes. This is just the beginning of this, okay? There has been untold of harms, uncountable harms, hurt, lives have been lost, families torn apart, all built on individuals being able to have stature in the community, being able to get job positions, right? We sitting up here looking at the data. We're looking at the facts, all right? Let's not forget the prison industrial complex. Let's not forget what the war on drugs was really about. Let's look into this and break this all down. So when I hear individuals talk like that, I have grave concern that, one, they're ignorant to what's really going on.
Definitely. And
then 2, they're looking for an excuse because they know what's wrong.
My question is are you ignorant, or you just trying to hide how you really feel by that?
I think that it's a combination. I think that it's a combination because the truth is I don't even think they got the right to speak. Even if you come and drop a boulder on my foot, you don't get to tell me how hard I could holler.
True.
You can't tell me.
You can't tell what my pain is.
What my pain is.
Yeah.
Maybe you should listen to my pain and understand that I'm in pain. But it's easy to dismiss my pain.
And it's easy to try to conform to society that we grew up as kids knowing things a certain way. Like, I grew up with a white Santa Claus or a white Jesus, with white everything, and was told that if white basically is right. And you're not told that, you're told that subliminally in certain things. So as we get older and we start to be more conscious of ourselves and understand that just as equal, then a society is pushed back on that from a lot of the things that but like I said earlier, it was the first time from all in the last 5 years where a lot of times of the blackouts and the black movements with the BLM and other organizations coming together, it was just black folks and black organizations and companies. But I'm seeing like Apple had a whole blackout the other day with all black music. I've seen when I log into my credit cards, we support Black Lives Matter. I've never seen that.
No, because see, this is what's happening. They've always understood that 85 to 90% of the way that they're making money is off of black lives. Whether it's through the liquor game, whether it's through clothing, whether it's through entertainment, our dollars are very powerful. Even if it's keeping us in a subjected consumer position, they still need us to keep on shopping. They're not giving you stimulus checks to keep them in your pocket. It's to stimulate the economy, right? So the way that this work is, yeah, we're going to support them because they wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for us. And we need to understand that and quit playing these games, whereas I'm just going to do what I want to do. That doesn't affect me. No, no, no. Now is the time that it doesn't only matter, but you have the power in your hands. Now is what we do with it. Because the only thing you have to do is don't shop for 30 days and you got their attention. Don't shop for 30 days. And if you don't got nothing, too much money anyway, well, learn how to save.
Yeah.
Learn how to open up your own business. Learn how to support other black businesses. Learn how to love on yourself. Understand your self-worth. Understand your self-identity. Understand that that person that looks like you could probably relate to you. Because the other part to this is we're not saying that blacks haven't committing no harm to blacks. We're not saying that. We're saying anybody that commits harm to blacks, whether you black, brown, white, or purple, you're our enemy if you do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So
we have to get this together and start understanding that there's a reason for that. There's a reason for the hurt. There's a reason for the harm in our communities, and we don't have to be a part of that. And we be a part of coming up with the solutions, fixing our own problems, and then, because when you said that to me, you have white people stepping up saying Black Lives Matter. And I think that they should be talking to their counterparts to say, hey, listen, we need to get off of that bull. Black Lives Matter, for real.
And I've personally been seeing that. I've been seeing videos surface where whites are standing up to other whites that are not seeing the big picture, even kids to their parents.
Or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all
They have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had. No, they don't, Dad. And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see them all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, white.
But it's a lot harder for them to get to that
It doesn't
position.
matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
You're calling people of color black animals. You're calling them animals. Are you kidding me? That's not okay. No matter what, that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay. Racism is not okay. Why do you think that racism is okay?
Oh, that's mine.
Haley, I'm gonna look at. No, I'm looking at statistics right now.
Your statistics can be warped. Statistics can be warped. You want me to show you videos? Do you want me to show you videos of cops? I will do it.
Statistics wrong?
Because they can be warped. I'm not giving statistics right now. They can be warped. Personal experiences can't.
No, because this is actually putting it into play. When you
Do I need to show you a bunch of videos of cops attacking protesters? Peaceful protesters.
listen to this. This is the number.
You mean I'm informed and educated?
You're not though.
Yes, I am.
You're one-sided in form.
Mom, I was watching political stuff and you said to turn that off because you don't want to hear about it. That means that I am educated on it and you are not.
I'm sick of hearing it.
The fact that you can have that ignorance for the majority is bliss.
Okay, so-
Ignorance for the minority
So I'm
is
looking at statistics
destruction.
that are wrong. This is just pure wrong information out there.
Just give me the statistic.
In 2017, 457 white people were shot to death by the police in the United States.
Okay.
223 were black.
76% of the population is white. 13% is black.
I get that.
If they were being killed at the exact same rate by police officers, the rate of black people being killed would be 8.9. But it's not. It's 24%. The rate of white people being killed should be about where it is. So they're being killed at a higher rate. There is more white people, meaning that the amount of people killed by cops who are white would be higher.
The reaction of the person. I'm not saying
Because
it's,
they're
I'm not
tired.
saying it's
They're tired
right.
of being treated
I'm
that
not
way.
saying it's right.
Good.
But if they started teaching them that this is the world that we live in, you don't want to be killed. Why do you think your friend's father taught him that?
Because
He
so that
does-
his black son doesn't end up dead like Tamir Rice.
Because he doesn't shoulder that
He doesn't
no
want his
police
black son to end up dead.
This is a prime moment for us to make changes, because
Right.
we have ears and we have people. The eyes and ears are on this matter, and how we respond to it is going to be critical at this time.
So one of the ways that I'm looking at saying that this is a crucial time. Individuals, all of us, not just blacks, white, brown, whatever, right? We need to look at the legislation that's out there. Why do the police believe that they have the power and the right to do that, right? See, it goes all the way back to the Wagner Act, whereas the unions, so since now you're unionized, that the police union have such a strong contract that it's hard to break that city contract, right? Because they've said that they're going to step into harm's way for us. So now once they've stepped into harm's way for us, there's certain ways that they need to be protected. So it's things that we need to start looking at, laws that we need to start changing. When we look at the way that a police engages someone, okay? Let's look into how they are trained. Let's look into why aren't we keeping a database on all the times that they've committed these harms.
And that's the change of the culture, because you got police officers that black that are still racist to other blacks.
Yes.
And we've seen that in George Floyd, where
when they came in and they tased them.
They tased him, and it was Asian guy that was sitting there. So it's really not. It's the culture that needs to be changed. And I just saw that Minnesota, they changed. They got rid of the chokehold and made that.
Yes.
I heard that they got rid of that.
But see, like Chicago is being and I'm glad that you bring that up. So now the law is on the book saying no chokehold, but they still practice it, and they're not held accountable for when they practice it. You even have some cities, like the city of Joliet, that they don't even have body cams. Okay, so it's certain things that we don't have to say we asking for. We demand this. This is the time for those things to change. This is what the law is. This is what's going to be enforced. No longer will you all not be held accountable. How do I go to myself? Like, how do I go to myself to say I broke this law, so I'm gonna need to investigate myself. All right, and then I'm going to come up with what the consequences is going to be, right? So we need to change all of that. And then with changing all of that, this is how we start moving forward. Is it going to happen overnight? No, but the mindset happens instantly. Okay, and then let's get out here and do what needs to be done, and say that we're not looking at this happening next month. Okay, this is what we're demanding now. Okay, that's going to change when they start getting. So we have to work within certain boundaries, but at the same time we need to push the boundaries to say that we demand more.
And we need to work in partnership, I believe, with. So if our government, if our state and our city government and our police department wants to make changes and bridge the gap within the community, bring the officers back in the community. Have them start actually working the beat and starting to know who the neighbors are, who they are. That's going to help with, not just the culture, but these people.
Purpose is when you respond to something bigger than yourself. It gives you direction, goals that can motivate you. We are at a time of change, and it starts with you. Make changes that inspires you to be better for you, your family, and your community. You may not be in the forefront of the protest, but you can find inspiration that makes you great. Follow me as I continue to live my purpose in helping others to find success and live with meaning.